Bones and All is the newest movie out on the big screen for you guys to go and check out right now. Now, this movie is all about two people who come together for the first time and fall in love with each other. But when their past comes back to haunt them, their relationship is put to the test. And does it survive? That is the question. Now, I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on this movie. Let me know down in the comments below. What did you guys all think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in that comment section below. Smash that like button for me and click subscribe as well. And without further ado, shall we get into this review of Bones and All? Okay, so Bones and All. Where do I begin with this movie? Man, it's just one of those movies where it's like, just gotta scratch my head because I don't know. I really don't know about this movie. I really don't. It's very interesting. I can tell you that now. Okay, so the performances are good. I have no problem with the performances. Obviously, they're going to be great because you got Timothy in there, and he's absolutely a rising star right now. He's fantastic. He plays this role really, really well. But I don't have any issues with the performances at all. So all of them, top notch. Where I have a problem with this movie is the story and the things that this is. The thing about the story that really questions me when it comes to this film is, look, I get what you're trying to do. I get what the director and the writers and all that are trying to tell. I understand. This, to its core, is a love story. It's a story about two people coming together for the first time and falling in love with each other and then trying to overcome certain experiences, traumatic stuff, a shared experience, and really testing their love and seeing whether they can overcome and live happily ever after. That's ultimately to the core what it is. Now that should be the main focus. You're thinking, okay, so you're going in to see that should be the main focus of me enjoying these characters, getting to know them, getting invested in this relationship, and really rooting for them. But I tell you right now, this movie, the core message, the core idea and narrative of this story is so overshadowed by this whole thing about what they are. Now, on the outside, they look human, but they're known as eaters. And so what they do, you've probably seen it in the trailers and that, is they actually eat people. Now, they're not vampires. They don't suck the blood. They actually eat people. I know, it's strange, like cannibalism and everything like that. They do that. But why it overshadows the narrative and overshadows the relationship and the core elements of this movie is because you're sitting there and you're like, well, what the hell is an eater? Like, why do they have these urges? And why do they have the necessity to eat people? Why do they have to do this? How come they have to do that? That is the big glaring question when you're watching this movie is, what are they and why do they have to do this? Like, it is insinuated throughout this whole entire movie that they must eat. They have to eat. They never ever tell you what they are or why they have to do it. They never do. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, I went through this whole entire movie asking that question and it never got addressed at all. So they're just eaters. And they just eat humans. I guess they just get an urge. But in this movie, it's passed down. So it's not like it's just those normal cannibalism films and stuff like that where you get a taste of it and you're like, oh, okay, actually, I like the taste of human, so I'm going to keep doing it. No, it's not that. It's actually a trait, a gene that is passed down. But we don't know why. We don't know why it happens. Like, what is the point of it? Why do they have to feed? None of that is addressed in this film. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, okay, this is whack. Like, I don't get it. Why? You don't need this in the film. I feel like they put that in the film to give you that horror element, to be like, hey, look, this is one of those romantic horror thrillers. But it doesn't work. It does not work at all because you're so focused on that you lose sight of what the actual movie is about, because you're so worried and so focused on this question of what is an eater? Why are they doing this? So I felt like that did not need to be there. That just overshadowed the whole entire story. There's also this line in here that refers to the title, Bones and All, about them eating everything. Bones and all. That's what it is. And it is referred by these other eaters in this movie as there's a before and after. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, cool. So you've put that down. You've laid that down right here in front of me. So that's going to have some significant moving forward. Like, what happens after they eat the bones and everything like that? Like, do they just completely turn? And do they just want to eat constantly all the time? Like, what is it about eating the bones at all? What makes them turn like that? Like, the before and after. Never addressed. Never brought up again. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you don't just drop that in like that and then just not address it at all. Like, there's obviously something about it. So for me, this film is very messy. It's very convoluted. It doesn't work. There's so many questions where I'm sitting there like, okay, what the hell is going on? Why is this? And then this whole, there's another storyline with this other eater in there that I'm kind of scratching my head like, wait a second. They never, like, they have this ability to smell other eaters and everything like that. And not once, none of them ever smelt him or anything like that. And I'm kind of sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why? Why are you doing this? It just makes no sense whatsoever. It's a complete jumble mess. It really is. The dialogue's not that great either. There's story threads here and there that I'm kind of scratching my head like, okay, does that need to be in there? But it's just all over the place. It is all over the place. Now, as for when they're eating the humans and stuff like that, that is gross. That is cool. And I like that because it gives you that horror element. Like, there's amount of times I was sitting there, I was like, ouch. Like, okay, I get it. You're eating a human. And it looked real. So that I got to give credit for. Some of the locations were great. Some of the cinematography was really good as well. But it's just, I don't know why they decided to add this element of eaters, like cannibalism and stuff like that in it when it didn't need to be in there. Because the core of the story is this relationship and I wanted to be invested in it. But I think the characters are bland. I just don't think there was enough there for me to care about the characters. And then as we're meeting other eaters along the way, they just stop by and then it's like, okay, what was the point of that? Like, what is the point of us meeting these other eaters? None of it had any impact at all in the story. And it's just kind of scratching my head like that. And then there's these other dream sequences that happen as well with one of our main characters that never gets paid off. Because I never know. Like, you can't show me that and then be like, hey, look, this is what happens with the father in the flashback in this thing. Guess what? You're never going to find out what that is about. That's what this movie does. I went into this movie with questions, and I came out with more questions. A lot more questions. None of my questions got answered. None of them got resolved. My first question was going in, what are they? Why do they eat humans? None of that got addressed. So throughout the movie, what is the flashback sequence with the father? Like, what is the point of that? What happened? Never gets addressed. Like, what is this bones and all? Like, what happens afterwards? Never gets addressed. So for me, this is a complete miss. It's absolutely terrible for me. It's just convoluted, questions not answered, leaves threads everywhere. And yeah, I don't think this is a strong film at all. That's just me. So let me know your thoughts below. Did you like it? Did you love it? Smash it down below. Smash that like button for me. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Till then, stay safe. Peace out.